You're good at so many things, but counting me in is not one of them.
I'm sorry. I just get it.
Three?
It's the kind of thing where
2, 3, 2, 1. Now click.
Listen.
Like you really, I mean, it gives
If
me
you
joy
have
to say
not-
you suck at that because there's so little that you
If you-
suck at that I love it.
okay, if you have not
Okay,
discovered,
Melissa.
if you have not discovered that repetition and routine
Are the
is
enemy
really just so fucking boring. I'm sorry. I can't. My brain's like, don't do it the same way. I mean, do you know how famous I would be on Broadway? I would have every fucking Tony. But I'd have to do the same thing every
Over
night of
and
my life
over.
for a year.
Yeah.
The same thing every night of my life for a year. The same
8
thing
times
every
a
night of
week,
my
right?
life for a year. Fuck you. I'm already irritated having to repeat it.
Life dysmorphia, zombies, and outside Melissa's box. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
We are coming out of the gate so fucking hot today. I am down and ready and here for it.
Hi, Ames.
Oh, my
How are
God.
you?
Good morning, Melissa. I'm well. How are you?
You traveled. You were walking in Memphis.
I super was. And I didn't do any Memphis things.
Did you eat?
No, I mean, of course I ate because that's all you do when you're traveling someplace, and I was brought there by others who wanted my time and brain. So part of that means they want to treat you every single
Love
meal.
it.
Like at a certain point, I was like, I can do this. You guys go do that part, and I'll just take a moment and a meal to myself. I love their company. It was super great, but it's a little bit like being in an Indian wedding. It's sort of like, this is a lot. This is a lot of attention and joy, and there's even more. Okay, great. And another feast is coming. So it's a lot of feasting. So all good, all great. Surprising amount of seafood and fish in Memphis. I mean, I guess they're right on a river, but what? It was a lot of that.
Now I want to go to an Indian wedding.
Yes, with the saris, but I'm not crazy about the exposed waist. But other than that, they're really good and fun. And I think maybe your feet hurt after a while. I went to an Indian wedding once. It was elaborate, but it was also not the kind of like TikTok Hollywood craziness. And it may that I've seen of late. So, 30 years later, but it also may be that 30 years on, they've gotten more elaborate. Quinceañeras maybe were not always as elaborate today or before as they are today. Like it might be something that just continues to evolve. Like sadly for us, gender reveals. It might just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because I think Indian wedding, Indian hospitality is intentionally, we now, we are proof of our joy and gratitude is in the way that we shower our guests and envelop them with luxury and the best of that the entire world has to offer. So, I mean, the bigger that is, that means the bigger the joy, maybe.
I
don't think it's a showy thing.
No, I love that.
That's what I perceive.
The more everybody who's ever met you is invited to share your joy, and I love that. And there's one thing, I guess, from movies that I've seen in Indian weddings that is also in a Jewish, like more towards the Orthodox side, but a very Jewish wedding. The concept of entertaining the bride and groom and how they sit on chairs while their friends come and dance for them and put on a show, and costumes are involved and props are involved. And it is, like you said, just joy on top of joy. And I love all these customs. I love watching them. A family opens themselves up to you and envelops you to share their joy. And I think that's incredibly beautiful. And I like being a part of it. Okay, you said, I don't like the fact that you have exposed midriffs, but I love the saris, love the clothes, love the experience. Can you agree that in general, people are pretty dysmorphic about the way they see themselves?
Yes, I can.
It could
Yes,
go
I
both
can.
ways. It is detrimental to women who don't reach potential because they hide parts of themselves because they do not see themselves appropriately. And strangely, I feel like the opposite is true with men. they don't see that they're just a man and
They
limited.
They have reverse imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Yes.
Why-
They have reverse dysmorphia.
Why is that
Yeah,
gender
yeah.
linked, it seems?
I'm just here to say I actually aspire
Yeah.
to body dysmorphia where I look great, but I somehow think I don't look great. Like, that's my aspiration. I would love the actual to supersede the mental, because my dysmorphia
Yeah.
hinges on this idea that I sort of have an idea about myself. And it's so interesting you raise this, because I noticed an article this morning, don't know if it came out this morning. There's a phenomenon scientifically that the older you get, the older that you get, the less accurately
Uh-oh.
you judge your own age.
That's true.
And that on average, people over 40 on average report that they feel, how old do you feel? 20 years younger than they are. And they're surprised every time that they sort of learn, how old are you? And it feels like, you see yourself in the mirror or whatever. And it's like, I guess so. And bully for you that you feel better than you look. And why is it? And why do we have such a hard time? Meaning old no longer, 50 when you were 18 was dead.
it was old.
50 was,
It was
50
old.
was, have you picked out the home? Right?
Oh my God.
Right? 50 was fucking old. And now I'm like, I remember 50. That was a couple years ago. Dee-lee-dee, where we drinking? Like, I don't, do you know what? I'm still acting like, unfortunately for everyone else, like I'm 18. Any event. Photos are the same way, right? This body dysmorphia that happens in photos. And I had a lot of photos taken of me just this past weekend, unbeknownst to me.
Uh-oh.
Well, I specifically am moving into a period in my life where I want to dress the way I feel, right? And by that I mean I had, coming out of COVID, I had spent a little bit of time on this platform called TikTok. I don't know if you're familiar.
I'm
okay?
familiar.
And I got into the beige period, and I'm still in it on some level, because nothing, nowhere. I actually, in my guest bedroom, I worked really hard to keep it to 3 colors that could be described as neutral, because I was aware that for a guest in my home, there is nowhere that it's not a chaos explosion of joy in the form of color
Pops,
and pattern and tone and everything. So I recognized the need for quiet somewhere for someone who might need it, right? Then TikTok and COVID came along, and I started getting into this. I'm even wearing a beige sweater as we sit here talking. And it was like, oh, tone on tone, monochromatic. And then you see all the girls. I'm not a Stanley mug user, but you're getting a picture, right? Their hair and their skin and their clothing and their mug and their sneakers and their car and their life is all within 3 degrees of saturated tone of one another, and it's all bone, ecru, white, sand.
Or as my friend Jenny would say, oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Yes.
Oatmeal. I'm like,
It is oatmeal.
Okay.
It is definitely oatmeal.
Yeah.
And that's a good look, and I like it. And then for some reason, somebody said something along the lines like, for habits, if people see your habits and don't know you at all, they should immediately know what your goals are in life. They should immediately know what's important to you if they see a day in your life. And that scared the shit out of me, because I was like, okay, 9 hours of fishdom and 61 hours of TikTok.
Does your phone beep and say, you're
before
down,
9 a.m.
You're down
Yes.
on hours this week. I don't know what happened to you. Did we break up?
God, you are a guru. It's so funny. My phone actually told me as I walked into this office,
Yeah.
to my office, the home office, it said you're down 4 hours and whatever minutes over last week. And I was like, really? How? Because I feel like I was on the phone
Because you
all
were
the fucking time.
productive and you traveled and you saw people and you engaged with proprietors of restaurants.
This very long walk by way of saying I have, and maybe because fashion, if you've noticed, is moving in this direction as well. If you notice, people are wearing larger clothes than they need to. The style has gone from very body conscious to oversized, overscale with bright color. And I'm into it. So I'm rapidly gathering up. Sometimes the style is skinny jeans with a button fly down the front and, like a tit top, like things that I'm never going to embrace. So I just wait for that style to be over. So the confluence of events here is that bright colors in, larger clothing in, bring it. So I've been scooping up all this stuff, and I went on this trip, and I'm wearing new stuff. That's all pow, 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 ping, ping, wow, wow, wee, all this kind of stuff. And I was so excited to have a place to wear it and to be doing it and everything else. And I just really was feeling good every morning when I put it on, and people complimenting me when you walk down the street, all the things. And then,
Uh-oh.
you know, my client was so proud of me. I have a fear of heights. And there was a stunning sunset. So I had to walk out onto the roof to get the picture, and I did. You would think I was doing some sort of bomb crawl. I was like holding on to the edge of the building.
Somebody hold my feet while I take this picture.
It was just an outdoor patio, but I was treating it like I was dangling from a plane. So I walked out. Well, I just get freaked out. So anyway, I walked out there and I got the picture, and she was so proud of me for doing that she took a picture of me taking the picture, because she's like, now you have proof. Look at yourself. And I was like, great. And I saw the picture and I wanted to slap her phone directly into the river. I couldn't believe what was in the phone. It was the worst photograph ever. And all she saw was how proud she was.
Of you.
And she doesn't know anything about me and heights. She just saw me acting like this, you know, frigid woman grasping with Dracula claws to the edge of the brick facade so I don't fall. And instead it was like, what's more important here? Capturing this moment, which I love, or dealing with my fear? And so she just, in a split second, she was proud of that. And that picture encapsulates it. And for me, all I saw is, why on earth did you buy or wear that dress that you loved? Because you look like a carnival cotton ball in the worst possible manner. And the pose that you're doing when you hold the phone to study, to look into the phone, it's like I added a whole neighborhood's worth of jowls under, because you're doing the you're doing the really, like, no one looks good when they look down. And I have mastered the not looking good when I look down. I'm a pro. Conversely, I took a picture of these three women in front of their agency door, right? The three principals of the agency. And it was super casual. We were not going into the agency. We just stopped by to grab something. Everybody dressed almost in weekend clothes. And it was such a stunning picture. They should use it on their profiles now. They just look natural and great and beautiful. And I'm like, and I'm doing something really bold and brave and fantastic in clothes that make me feel like $1 million. And when I actually saw it, I was like, what? Wow. I've made a big disconnect from reality.
I guess that's good? Do you think those three women looking at the picture you took say, ugh, I can't believe this is how I look. I really thought I was killing it when I left to go to this meeting
I truly don't. I think it was a flattering photo of these three women. I've seen them in life. I've seen them as humans. I've seen them looking down at menus. They all are normal looking. They don't have problems. But in any event, it was the kind of thing where I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's a really good photo. Like, you can tell when somebody takes a good photo, it's good news.
Why
right?
don't we see ourselves as others see us? I almost ourselves.
Is it everybody though? I'm in a moment where
everybody.
I am, but I'm changing my body right now. I'm in a very long walk to alter the shape and the function of my body. I want to be stronger, more resilient, more flexible, all those things. And in fairness, I want to weigh less pounds than I weigh. So I'm actively attempting to do all this. They're not doing any of that shit. They're just not. They're
living their
best
lives.
Not on their own. No, and they're whether they're naturally or whether they work at it behind the scenes every waking second, unknown to me, they're where they need to be. And didn't think about it to the point where there are a lot of fucking stairs, where there were 24 stairs to get to their office. And I know this because I nearly died going up these fucking stairs because they're old Memphis stairs. So you remember before there were things like health code or whatever it's called, building code, and the stairs, they would put staircases in place that are too narrow to have a staircase.
Yeah, and they're not uniform, and you're not guaranteed
one of them is
railing,
like triple height,
right.
the tread, and then the other one is too short, so you almost die. Like, it was a lot of, there were, everywhere you go, stairs, 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 hill, hill, walk, walk. And they weren't even aware of it. It was like moving from the sofa to the kitchen for them.
It was Thursday, right? Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm questioning how many of us really do look at a photo and think, wait a minute, what? I'm great. Who's in that picture? Like, that's what I think every time I see a picture. And I don't love that. I would love to be in a place where, and I've had it a few times in my life, but too rare to remember, where I look at a photo and I think, she looks good. Oh, that me. Like, I want to be there. And I'm in the opposite place of it. Do most people just look at a picture and like that photo is representative and good, or that
Never.
photo is representative and bad? I think most people do.
I've never had an experience where I looked at a photo and I said, "You're killing it," or "That's actually accurate," or I've in recent memory I can't. And I look at my children. Every year I pick a photo, one family photo to put on a magnet to send to all of our very nearest and dearest to hang on their refrigerator or any metal surface they have in their home. Put it on your car. I don't care. Don't put it on your car. I'm begging you, don't put it on your car if you get one from us. I cannot get the four of us to agree on a picture. And when I show it to each human, the only person they see is themselves. They
That's
do
the
not
part that
see.
I really get frustrated when there's a beautiful picture of the other, and that person is like, "Ew, why do you think that's beautiful?" And I'm like, "Because that's better than you actually fucking look. That's your best look." And they look at it and think,
You
"No
can't
way."
say that to them, though. You can't say,
Oh, I say it. My favorite are the people who on Facebook put the worst possible. They pick this weird ass, ridiculous profile picture that is not only not representative, it is not flattering.
That's the question.
And somehow
Yeah.
they love it. They're like, "This is my pinnacle photo, and I'm so excited. Can you believe it? You guys look great." And I'm like, "You don't look like you, and I wouldn't want to look like the person that you just picked that doesn't look like you. Like, what are you doing? You look better than both of these.
right.
Stop it. Wait, when does that happen?"
Never. What?
Well, my sister-in-law once said to me, really stuck with me because this is going back more than a dozen years. She said, the only photograph I've ever felt good about was my wedding day.
Oh, really?
That's a big fucking
That's
statement
somebody
to make.
else. Well, first of all, that's something you worked on for like a year. That's somebody else doing your makeup and hair. And I mean, for me, it was somebody else doing my makeup and hair and then me washing my face and re-showering and just saying, "Look, this is what I look like. So get used to this." But that's like heavy crane lifting. That's the only time you've ever felt like you looked good.
It's such a weird comment because you want to feel
like yourself.
beautiful. And also, frankly, you want to feel at the height of your beautifulness, right? I'm trying not to make it all fixated on what is external beauty, but there's this kind of aura of the joyful beauty that you are on your wedding day. How could you ever be, because you're the most beautiful when you're happy. So how could you ever be more beautiful because you're never more happy? You know, all
Right.
that fantasy romance bullshit mindset crap.
Thank you for making it BS mindset crap.
Part of it's in there when she says that's the best photo, but also so you're happy that you have one, but you got a long life. You've got one photo that you felt beautiful. That's not right.
That also brings up for me I had nothing to do with the planning of my wedding. I had nothing to do with it. I was actually told at one point, if you were a normal child, you would come home and help me plan this wedding. Like the quotes I could give you from that very stressful time. Which was followed by, "Not that you've ever been normal." I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
Sharon,
I'm
what?
Feeling great.
and-
Feeling great about me.
And would she remember that comment? Never. She would never remember that.
I never said that to you.
That's exactly. And I will never forget it. So one of us, is glossing over and the other one has it etched as a tramp stamp on my lower back because I can never forget,
Jesus.
right? Never forget.
Good night.
I don't understand why we only see the worst in ourselves. I have always finished a Marco Polo, finished a something, and then or looked up from my phone when that camera opens and you see yourself with all that and you go, "Ugh," like you're shocked at what you see.
Right.
However, that's not what you look like normally. I had a conversation with my husband where I said, "Look, on my best day, looking fly as fuck," meaning
Wow.
I'm happy with it. I'm a 7.5 on my.
That's him talking about himself?
That's me talking about myself.
Okay. First of all, fly as fuck was an interesting reference coming out of his face, but okay.
No, it was mine. The
7.5.
I would give on a really good day where
On a scale of 1 to 5.
where I have worked hard for, I don't know, whatever I worked out to get into that outfit / whatever, and or I've done to makeup or hair or whenever, perfect storm, I'm a 7.5. And on the every other day, look at your own risk. Like I'm wearing a giant sweatshirt. I worked out this morning. I'm going to go to the park after this because the temperature reached above 40 today, and that's walk-in weather. For me, that's walk-in weather. So I'm going to throw in a couple of laps at the park with maybe a dog. As long as I don't shit my pants, we're good for it. But people don't see themselves, and I think I'm being generous. So people don't see themselves. But my husband will turn to me and say, you're out of your mind. You're a 10. And I'm going to say, you're out of your mind. I blow you. That's why you think I'm a 10. Like, no, you're out of your mind.
You already know and have forgotten, so I'm going to have to remind you. I've even said it on pod. I'm going to tell it again, and you're not going to cut this out. So fuck you.
Uh-oh.
We were in New York, one of the many times we were in New York, staying at the same hotel. My husband and I were in the lobby and didn't realize that you guys had already arrived. We were all gathering and meeting up for the first time that morning.
Explain, you were trying to finish the last Harry Potter book because you didn't want any of us
No, that came later. That true. Well, that was the time frame.
Yeah.
But that came later. This was early in the trip. My husband and I were in the lobby having our coffee, having our whatever, and then we were near the window just looking out on the city street as you do.
Right.
And walking past was this New York model. She's part of a couple, but I was like, damn, this is some New York street art right here. Model just walking right the fuck by. Walked into the lobby, so I just kept looking to see, like, how do people dress? What's New York like? What are models like? And it was you idiot. And the second you came up to me, I stood up and yelled because I have no sense of any kind of anything. I was like, I thought you were a model. No, and everybody's like, oh, you know, and you had this big scarf around you and like the whole fucking thing. That's not a compliment. That's not, I love you so much. I did not recognize you from profile from a distance, and everything about you in that moment, in that walk, in that confidence, in that outfit, in that body, in that you-ness was fucking New York model. Now, I didn't invent that.
What year
out of
was
love
that?
From you.
What year was that?
Every fucking year of your life. So that's number one. Now, for the listeners, I'm also going to do, have you ever seen this movie from Adam Sandler called Just Go With It? It's one of his more recent movies where he's pairing up with Jennifer Aniston. There's one where there's like a murder caper. This one is, he's a surgeon and she is his
nurse assistant, office person. That's right.
Manager, nurse assistant, and ends up in a situation where she's pretending to be his ex-wife. So if you've seen this movie, it's called Just Go With It. If you hadn't, you need to watch it because the Jennifer Aniston character, fashion-wise, is Melissa. She is this woman who part of the through line of the movie is she has, to quote Adam Sandler, a sneaky hot body. So she wears regular clothes in regular life, and then he goes out and buys all these crazy "You're My Rich Ex-Wife" persona clothes and dolls her up, and they play the boom ba boom music and all the rest of it. But then they go to Hawaii together because it's idiotic in Hollywood, and she's just wearing shit that normal people would wear.
And then she runs into whom?
Jean shorts, and all this kind of stuff. And then she's in a bikini, and she looks better in the bikini than Declan Brookhart and all the rest of the
Brooklyn
people.
Decker. Yeah.
Is that her name?
Brooklyn Decker.
So close.
Not really.
So close. That's really close.
But if you had to choose one of those women to be, as cute as Jennifer Aniston is and as packed into joy or what, Brooklyn Decker is who you want to be, right?
I don't know that I can say.
Oh my
yes.
God. What? Yeah,
I
I
know.
can. I'll do it. Brooklyn Decker is who I would like to resemble.
She is a delightful specimen, but I have such a hard time. We were doing this the other day, wildly inappropriately, in a stolen moment when I was working with these women. We started doing not the marry, fuck, kill, but they were calling it like a hall pass or something.
Sure.
They were saying, and so they were all talking about who they were going to fuck and all the rest of this stuff. And the range of people that they were picking was so strange. And I have a hard time some of them were saying he's too pretty. Is there such a thing? Because when you're fucking them, it's not I don't want to talk to you. I don't care. Like, I'm not in a relationship with you. Like, we're not playing the relationship game. Who would I marry? That's very different. This is
right. I don't want
to bar would you like?
Right. I don't want to compete for mirror time before we go out, but I'm
not going out with you. Do you understand? I'm having sex with you right now on this washing machine. Like, that's what's happening right now. So the whole notion of it was I in that moment and right now am realizing it was difficult to separate the body from the person when it came to this who you gonna fuck game. But when I'm playing the whose body do you want, it's all tied in there. Jennifer Aniston is very cool. She is an actual person, and she's smoking hot, oh my lordy gorgeous, and she's got a degree of difficulty that Deckler does not have.
Oh my
What's
God.
her name?
Brooklyn. Her name's Brooklyn.
Right. She's got the natural height ratio. She's got lots of nips. She's got lots of tucks. They're not. So I feel like she's not doing a double kowtow backward sat fit, right? On the gymnastics thing. I don't know how to do gymnastics references, but I feel like the degree of difficulty for Jennifer Aniston pushes her over. Why do you not buy any of this? Because I don't make any sense?
Well, I think Jennifer Aniston's adorable. She's beautiful, but if you've got to pick a body to have or hold for this day forward, Brooklyn Decker is pretty much like
she's up there with the greats.
She's
up there with
pretty
the greats.
much at the peak of everything everybody, every human wants. She is tall, she is stacked, she is flat where she needs to be flat and bumpy where she needs to be bumpy. She's gorgeous. I think it's a scientific thing, less subjective, and more scientifically this is peak whatever.
You know what? And I've fallen victim to the same thing that I see everyone else. It's not an either or. It's a both and. I'll be both. I'll have both in the closet.
Meanwhile,
I can
we think
be
we're neither.
one body, one day. Yeah. No, I know that I'm neither, but I'm not, we're all such good friends, the three of us. Jennifer, Becker, and Declan. What's her fucking name?
She likes you so much because you know her name so well.
You know what? She's great. I think you're great. Everybody's great. I would like to look better in a photograph. That's all I'm saying. Because inside my head, the photograph of me looks fucking smoking. And then I look at the photograph and I'm like, who is that? Why'd you take that? That's not me.
I'm going to need to see the dress. I'm going to need to see the picture. There's no way around it. You're going to have to put up.
It's not good. It's not good.
Put up, put out.
I'm saying, and to the point where these clothes, I not only got complimented by people on the street, I got complimented by a male client in a pitch on my dress.
Wow.
That's the kind of thing where that's sort of like, what's happening now? And it wasn't, it was very relaxed and natural and not creepy or anything. He just casually was like, that's a great dress, by the way. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. But it's the sort of thing where you don't fucking do that. He doesn't know me. We've never met before. It was very weird.
It wasn't, let's fuck. It was
no
sharp as hell. Look at you.
No.
Look at you
and we were at
representing.
an architecture firm, so I like it when, people who are in a field of, we must focus on the look. Whatever. I'm saying I need more photographs of you in my life plastering every surface.
No. Is there
No.
something in your life, sweet Amy, that you could not give up, even if it was like, well, if you gave up coffee, Amy, we could solve the world's problems? Is there just something that is a deal breaker for you that you could not give up?
Does it have to be a thing? Or are you talking about like joy, love, color, happiness? Those are not going away. Sorry. The world will burn. And I'll be happy about it. No, I mean, so you're talking about a physical thing?
Yeah.
I'm sure there something that I can't give up. But if I cannot envision that my desire to have or keep or maintain doing something at the expense of the entire planet, meaning immediate destruction, because don't come at me with global warming. Fucking slow burn. I am keeping my coffee. Okay? That's how that's going to go. I'm running the shower too long. Sorry. That's what I'm doing. Not going to compost this banana.
So
that's the way it is.
So a friend of mine is in a business, and another business is like, yeah, we love what you're doing. You're killing it. We'd like you to come and show our company how you did this. We're going to fly you down. It'll be great. We're sending a PJ for you.
Fantastic. What's the problem? Yep. Let's go.
You know that private jets are the cause of, flying with lay folk is better for the environment. It's better for, would you have a problem taking a private jet?
Nope. Double nope. Think about buying one myself for fractional ownership. Is it worth it if we're even considering flying somewhere? Should we make this the moment that we take the whole family on a private jet? I don't make it a lifestyle. I don't make it a habit. it's an experience that I will have yet to have,
Yeah.
and think would be fun. If someone told me, you will never get to be on a private jet, and in exchange, this thing will happen, of course I'd choose that. But if you tell me, of all the people on private jets, you are going to self-select out because your role in this very disastrous, environmentally disastrous thing is somehow impactful or greater or complicit, fuck no. Fuck no. I'm just as worthy of destroying this planet as those other 100 billionaires, right? Don't fucking come at me with that. So, would you eschew a private jet? You've maybe been on a private jet before. I have not.
I have not.
Would you eschew the opportunity to ride one in any distance? Here's the other thing. I don't actually want to be on a private jet because they're smaller and they're more susceptible to the now you're dead turbulences. So I don't love that part. But okay, can I get on Air Force One? Hit it. I want to go. I would in it. Why would I not want to be on that?
I think that's on my bucket list, getting on Air Force One. However, I will tell you the closest I could ever come is in this specific presidency, and there's no way it's going to happen because I have
Uncle Joe.
Let's go. Fewer than 6 degrees from Joe Biden, but there's no way that and I hate to fly. So maybe a private jet wasn't the best example. I am curious though, this week, is there anything that you chose not to steal that we need to praise you for? Because I think it's important to reinforce your positive behaviors.
I saw that on the board. I saw that you put what didn't Amy steal this week, and I was charmed. I was charmed by
a whole segment, because leaving the supermarket this week, I saw wood, ice, oh my God, when I go to get a newspaper and I put it in that little thinger and I open the...
Yeah, take 5.
Why do people trust you to take one newspaper? There's a whole pile. And when you don't, nobody praises you for taking just one. Plants outside the market, there's so much. And I was kind of swept up in it this past week. And I thought, I don't think I praise Amy nearly enough for not stealing.
I love that. And I welcome and will receive your praise next week when I haven't stolen anything, because I super stole some shit this week.
Oh, no, really?
Well, it was less than I wanted to.
Okay. But we ratcheted up from pudding to what?
I don't think this really counts.
Oh, God.
There's so much of it that really shouldn't count. But this one, you be the judge, listener. All right. Stayed in a boutique hotel called Arrive. And the reason I mention that is part of their shtick. It was very groovy. The entire elevator was wrapped in such a way where the whole thing looked like floor, walls, and ceiling were all the same pattern. So, I mean, it was a groovy hipster kind of a place. Everywhere, they put their initial, which is an A for Arrive.
That's you.
So everything had these beautiful initials on them. Even the hairdryer bag, which is a nice little canvas drawstring bag in the right color with a beautiful A on it. And I have it now because fuck you. You got enough of them. There's one on your hospitality card. You don't know what's missing. And honestly, there was a nice pillow on the bed, which is super gorgeous with a big A on it. Like really, in lieu of the roll pillow, they had this oversized A pillow. And I completely only did not steal that because I didn't pay for the room. My clients brought me down, and I just didn't want on their... I mean, it's one thing to have some mystery charge. Like, I risked it. If they have a mystery charge on the thing that says hairdryer bag, like if they would actually say there was damage to the room, then they would go and dispute it, be like, what? You're kidding. No, because they don't listen to this podcast. And then the other thing is... but if it said, like, missing pillow...
Oh, they would know.
Missing
a pillow.
I just don't. See what you did. I just don't want to. I don't want to invite that kind of conversation.
It's big. You're now traveling with that.
That's part of the fun. No, that's part of the challenge. That's what I like. It's part of the challenge. The bigger it is, the better it is. But no, I only took the bag, and I'll show you the bag. And you would have taken it too and given it to me.
I would have.
And I always steal from hotels. Like, that's just part of the fun. So it's not really stealing. I mean, it's stealing.
I've told you in the past. I did the kids' laundry at a laundromat because after camp, because camp is gross and laundromats are gross, and that's perfect.
Get it all done in one.
All done in the Gazunda size washing, and
Bingo.
A woman there was washing maybe 300-400 white towels. And I said, oh, white, that's brave. I've got kids. I don't white as much, is the whitest thing to say. And she said, oh, yeah, we had a flood and now we're staying at a hotel and I've stolen all of the towels from a hotel. And I said, oh, I see how you use the word stolen. So you understand the towels are not yours, correct? And she said, everything is for the taking in a hotel. She said, I have 30 to 50 hair dryers that I've taken from hotels, the robes. I said, there's actually a sign on the robe that
They
says,
charge you.
you may use
No.
it here, but if it disappears, you're going to get another $50 to $100 charge on your... I don't think she looked at the bill afterwards, or they're afraid of her because she fleeced everything out of hotel rooms.
Okay.
What is legal to take from a hotel room?
Number one, I have removed a fair amount of towels from hotels, not for my own use, because hotel towels are gross. They're gross. The best hotel towels are still a far cry from what you have at home. They're not great. So they're not something that you covet.
They're meant
The
to be
only reason-
durable. They're not meant to
Thank
be
you.
enjoyable.
I have taken hotel towels in the form of, I need to take this wet item home. I'm wrapping it in this very small hotel towel. And when I get home, I throw that towel away or it goes in the rag bin, right? That's
Dog feet.
waste that the hotel is unfortunately used to accommodating. Am I doing the right thing? Absolutely not. Am I worried about it? 1,000 times not. It's a towel. Fuck you. And I feel like what she did was knock over a hospitality cart and run down the hall with it,
Sounds
wheels
like it.
squeaking. Because how do you, what in the, and everything that she took is weird. You don't need, okay, I understand.
35 hair dryers.
I can get my head around the mental state that we have nothing. I have convinced myself that stealing this hairdryer, which can be had for $19 in a Walmart, that stealing this hairdryer, somehow I deserve it. You don't deserve 35 hairdryers. That's like going into an office and stealing a cart full of reams of paper, as opposed to taking home, a handful of paper because you need to print your kid's report or something. It's all theft. It's all wrong. But one of it is like problematic wrong.
Yeah, but
It's
she
not
could
an
rationalize
opportunity
it.
crime.
She
Yeah.
rationalized it by saying what they charge you for hotel rooms is outrageous. So they expect
No,
you to take
absolutely
it,
no.
and that makes
They
up for it
don't.
on the other side when they charge you more. I said, well, I feel like I'm
None of
getting
that.
charged more so that you can steal their hair dryers.
I tell you what they did do, and it made me really irritated, even though it should make me very grateful, and it should have felt thoughtful to me, but instead it was super off-putting. They had a long wooden board, a clipboard that was a stylized clipboard, so it was more like a charcuterie board, a very thin, long, narrow, oversized, hipster. Nobody could ever use this as a clipboard. Just had a clip at the top where they put all their shit. Here's where you do room service. Here's where you do this. Here's what
Okay.
happens in the downtown. And right on top was an elongated envelope that said, my name is, in handwritten, Deborah, and I take great pleasure and pride in cleaning your room for you today. Please leave tips here in this envelope for me. Here's where you're going to leave my tips.
Well,
and I looked at that thing
I
every
have
fucking
stayed
time,
in
and I'm like, I
hotels-
travel without cash, Debbie, so fuck off.
I've stayed in hotel rooms with you before, and I know that you don't tip in hotel rooms.
I should, and I will maybe start. I'm supposed to. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off is the name. I fuck off. I kind of don't want you in here anyway. Because what are you doing except knowing that I took your hairdryer bag? Like, I don't need you. I didn't buy anything from the mini bar, even though I was really hungry late in the night. I didn't know there was a mini bar. They were so fucking hipsters, and it was behind this mirrored wall that I didn't realize moved. It was on a track. So then I fucking moved that. I was like, oh, okay, great. And then all the stuff in there, Reese's peanut butter cup, not king size, a regular size.
ahead.
You've seen it. You know what size it is.
I'm well aware.
It was $5
For 2 cups, $2.50
One-
a cup.
a cup. I almost wanted to open it up and smear it on the wall and then not pay for it. I didn't do any of these things. I just rolled that mirror back in place. Fuck you. I'm not doing it. It was like a warehouse. It was like a downtowny. So there were rugs under the bed, and then the floor is concrete. Debbie, I'm paying you to not vacuum a concrete floor. Stop it. It was super groovy hipstery. I'm not putting folding money in an envelope for you. Who has that?
So a bag with your initial on it.
Yes, that's all I stole from them.
Oh,
That's it.
Stop it. I know that there's product that you took from them as well because
I didn't. I've gotten out of the habit. I no longer. And first of all, I want to do this in my house now. They have all the shit bolted to
Pumps.
the wall in a
The
way that
pumps.
benefits you. So they have a full size everything, so you don't run out. That's why I like it. It's better for them. It's better for the environment. Those are pluses, but they're downstream from my benefit as the client staying in the room. I'm not going to run out because I'm not packing soap, and I've really gotten out of the habit even of packing shampoo and conditioner, even though I should, and face soap. So having all that stuff right there and ready to go and on the wall in plentiful quantity. What I don't like is all these hipster places, the scents that they pick
yeah.
are always like bourbon, tobacco, Manny Man,
Oh.
hipster
Musky.
groove
They're
scent.
musky.
Yes.
Little
And they
patchouli, weed, and musk. All of the
stick with citrus, a bright and citrusy vanilla
clean.
lemon.
Yeah.
Even a grapefruit scented man, that works for me. And a grapefruit scented woman works for me too. An undernut musk, lick 'em, stick 'em, tobacco wood, wacky weed. I don't want that scent.
You
on
had me at undernut and you retained me at wacky weed. So yes, yes, and yes.
My poor clients are going to have to relocate their office that they've been in for 20 straight years.
Not because of you.
It's a historic walk up. It's right in downtown Memphis. It is a block and a half from the Lorraine Motel. It is right near Beale Street. It is Memphis. Oh my God. And then the first floor has flipped over into an Airbnb and their entire building smells like weed every day of the week. And they can't have clients over anymore. It smells like weed. They have to move.
Oh, that's
They
a
have
shame.
to move or buy the building, which is in the millions. And they're like, okay, I guess we're fucking moving.
That's a shame.
Or we're going to smell like weed. Weed is everywhere.
It's
Since you told me about the
everywhere.
Portland weed,
Permeates. It's
now I've got
everywhere.
weedy weed, wacky weed all over the weeds. It's a lot. Just chew it. Why do you have to smoke it, you wacko?
Yeah,
You can eat
You
it.
don't smell it when I do it, so it's fine. It's fine.
You're not smoking weed anymore. You chew your weed. When's the last time you smoked weed around me? Not, because you would eat a gummy.
Correct. COVID has me never smoking weed again, but I will eat it in almost any form.
Bingo.
So this week I had somebody request that I step outside my box, and I'm going to give it a hard pass, and you're going to
What?
see why.
Oh.
There's for the last couple of years it didn't happen, but we're back again at the synagogue where I belong, and they are having a gala. It's their big fundraiser. My kids worked it a couple of years to volunteer, and I've been a member for however long and been supporting it. Not this one, but a previous one. I got one of James Taylor's guitars in a raffle, an auction, or whatever it was. Super great. And a Longdenburger.
Longaburger
Is that
basket.
is that the pointless basket thing where what the fuck do I do
from
with
somewhere bullshit Pennsylvania, and they wrap the outside with willow and then like colored willow. Yeah, it's Longaburger basket.
Well, I have one in my basement, and I was hoping it would die and on its own and fall apart, but it hasn't. So if anybody wants it with all the accoutrement inside,
No, that's the kind of thing where, Antiques Roadshow is going to take that from your ancestors' hands later, and they'll be like, oh, this piece is worth bazillions of dollars. Congratulations. So just keep it boxed up. Give that to somebody who cares about it years from now. Don't ever use it, because why would you?
Why would I?
And also, yeah, there you have it. Okay, next.
It might have the high hose, which are Snow White's 7 friends. I had almost life-size high hose that my kids would play with. So it has, I think, all of the high hose in it right now. Anyway, so I get this phone call on my answering machine. Now, dear listener, I have an answering machine. I know I'm the only one left, but I want you to know the reason I still have it is because there are 5 messages from my Nana on the tape. And Nana is no longer with us. And I love to hear her voice, even though as you get to number 4 and 5, she's not quite sure who she is to me. She's just calling me because she knows this is a human that she loves who maybe sent her cookies or flowers and wants to thank me, but she's a little confused. I love those messages. They are gold to me. So that's the reason. Oh, also because Verizon has decided that if we bundle 3 services, it could be cheaper than just 2 services being phone and internet. Great, great, great. Moving on. Oh, it's blinking, that answering machine. I haven't seen that in, I don't know, 100 years because
Didn't realize you still work.
correct. I thought you were just a tape deck.
Yeah, I thought you were a player box.
So
Yeah, okay.
I hit the button and it says, "Hi, I'm calling about the gala." And I thought, that's great. I'm not going. I did get your invitation a week ago and it went directly from my right hand to the trash can. Am I going to write a check for something? Maybe. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. However, I have no intention of dressing up and going out and being social with people. Mostly, I don't know. That's not me. I think, dear listener, you know that that's not me. Then, if you listen to the end of the message, she says, "And we'd like to talk to you about emceeing the evening."
What? Why?
Thank you. And I said, "What? Why? What? Why? What? No! Let me start at the beginning. Absolutely not. And choice B, still no. And choice C, you're really that sad. Like, what is happening that I am your..."
Let's be crystal clear. You could do the fuck out of that job better than anyone else, but you ain't gonna do that job.
gonna do
That's
that
why
job.
I'm laughing.
I ain't gonna do that
That's like
job.
if they called you up and said, "We would like you to be on the cover of our Nude Babes on the Beach series for the synagogue." Would you do it? Thank you, eyeballs. The answer is like, what? Why? No,
We're doing
not doing
we're
that.
doing a calendar of people with 7 chins, and we thought you might be interested. Come
Okay, now we're in my wheelhouse.
Come do the
Yes.
chins. I can do a chin calendar, so everybody's going to look at me for, can I get February? It's the shortest month. Come on. Are you kidding me? So a day passes and there's another blinking happening. First of all, the reason we don't know that calls are coming in is because I don't think we have a phone hooked up to this thing. It's just, there's no ring. It's just, here's a voice from out of nowhere, somewhere else. So someone else called. My question is, what number am I on the list? 70? How many people did you ask before you got to Melissa? Because
I don't know.
The phrase-
You probably give them money though. Let's be honest. I bet you give them money.
well, I joined and don't go, so that's a couple grand right there, but that's the membership. That's how much money we give. We have, unlike churches, synagogues have dues that you have to pay. And
Okay.
and once a year somebody gets up and says, "Here's why you need to pay us more than your dues." So initially when we moved, I wanted a community and I like the Jews. Don't know how I feel about their leader, but I'm all in on the
I'm
we
really
share.
sorry. Who's the leader of the Jews? Because I mean, it's supposed to be Jesus, but that didn't work out. Who's the leader of the Jews?
His dad.
God? You don't know how you feel about God?
Do you?
Well, yeah,
Is that the God is good theory again?
it's great, and
Oh,
yes.
sorry. Sorry. Okay, well, you can have those
No.
feelings.
I am not.
Give us chocolate cake.
You know how we were talking about categories, putting people in categories? All faith-based entities that receive my love are in the category of universal source creation energy, right? The things that are that which I do not understand actively working in my favor all the time, and yours. So yeah, I'm super down with the whole category. So I don't know. Well, there's some of them are more powerful than others. Some of them mean more on a certain day than others. But they're in a category that gets an A plus, check plus, gold star from me. 100%.
You hedging your bets with comments
I'm
like
not
that?
hedging
and
my
thoughts
bets.
like
I'm
that?
not hedging my bets. I'm not hedging my bets. I am agreeing with you partly that some days I'm kind of like, all right, the whole, I mean, Book of Mormon is a beautiful reminder of some of this shit is a human understanding that's kind of bonkers. If you ever watch that fiction story, American Gods, it's a wonderful little romp into all the different deities, some of whom are more powerful than others and some of whom aren't there to help you. So I have a fictionalized idea of universal energy as a category, and then I have a profound humbling gratitude and blissful lack of understanding of the way those forces are working because I trust they're always working in my benefit. So I'm a fence sitter, but in both cases it's Bring it. Whatever you got. Come on. Let's go. Hindus are great. They got tons of gods. It must be so much fun. Anyway, I'm pro God. I think it's great. God is great. It's not just good. And I don't even pay dues. I don't do any of the shit I'm supposed to do. Okay, back to you.
I don't think my check, my yearly check, even though I do services on a couch or don't at all, is getting me this gig. And the phrase "you come highly recommended" at the end of the thing is like, okay, you don't have to do that. I will be sending you a text Monday morning that says, "Thank you, but."
No, leave funny to mommy. You have a comedy podcast. You're not afraid of a microphone. You're fucking stunning, gorgeous, and look like a model. You're a dues-paying member who has a healthy disrespect for whatever's up there making shit happen. It sounds like you got the gig, right? Let's snap
I
your
don't want the
fingers,
gig.
Jack
That's what's
Benny,
happening.
Joni Rivers, right? Lenny Bruce. Let's snap your fingers and hurry up, kids, with those donations. We need to move these pictures that some loser donated. You got to pay too much money for this ugly art. Come on, let's go, bring it.
I'm not doing it.
You should do it.
And
you should do it.
And
you should do it.
I'm gauging my friends on how they
do
respond to
it.
this.
Do it. And I don't think that you were 90th on the list. I don't think that this same voicemail was left for 18 people before you. I think that you uniquely do come highly recommended. And I know in your heart you accept, receive, and believe what I just told you. I know that's true. So I'm asking you to fixate on it because I think you're also thinking, why would they call me? I'm not really in their band. I don't fucking get it. They got nobody else. They must have gotten down to me. That's
what I'm thinking.
That might be true on some level, but moving you rapidly to the top of the list is your qualification to be the MC of fucking anything any day of the week and kill it. You know that's true. And if you don't, you need to slap yourself in the face because it's true.
Hey, you put on the board, so the answer is no. You put on the board zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
I am curious 1,000 reasons, and I have not started to watch that, The End of Us, Rest of Us,
The Last
whatever.
of Us. And don't watch it because you don't want to watch it. It's heart-wrenchingly excellent, but why do you want people slowly die? That's not, we can entertain ourselves in so many other ways. I don't need to see that. Pass.
Well, this conversation or this concept was also in our lives this week on this side, in the northern part of the East Coast, with would you possibly in the Andes, would you eat your spouse if it came down to you starving to death or the dead dude next to you is lunch? Like, what would you? Sustenance? I've already gutted you and lived inside of you to keep warm. Am I going to eat you now too?
That's a pretty easy one for me because if I'm stranded this week, I've got such a long runway before I am near death from starvation that I would have to make that choice. So I'm either going to get found or recognize that once I consume this corpse, I'm dead anyway. So I'm not going to do that on my way out. So the answer is no, because I've got enough chipmunk cheese all over my body that I'm going to survive it until they come get me or until I rationalize the idea, accept the idea that ain't nobody coming to get me and I'm not going to be a cannibal on the way out. So it's a double tap no for me. That's pass no. If it's you and you're dead in like 60 hours because you can't exist without getting some fucking protein on your bones, you got a hard decision to make, Sally.
I don't think it's a hard decision for me. I don't think I would be really great in a horror movie, in tragedy like that. I mean, you heard last week of my story running from gate to gate with negative 30
Thought of you
seconds.
many times as I was in the airports. Yes. Okay.
Like the mouth going dry. Like I'm not one who's going to fight. I watch these things and I'm like, holy shit, go girl. And I'm like thinking for myself, I'm a succumb to whatever is. I'm the first one to say, eat me. Like you're not going to enjoy it. So I can't see myself doing it. I can't see it happening.
That was what was so interesting. These clients, when we were having the conversation of who would you fuck, everybody immediately went to Pedro Pascal, who is in The Last of Us. And that immediately went to talk of zombie apocalypse. And someone actually said, I'd never thought of this before. Would you survive the zombie apocalypse? And before anyone could answer, one of the women piped up and said, why would you want to? And I thought, hey now, she's right. We should just carry the cyanide pills for when the zombie apocalypse comes. Because I know that was so bad, but I love it. The apocalypse.
Brooklyn Decker.
Listen.
Not that hard.
Listen.
Declan Brooker.
Look it. Do you even want to survive it? If it means you have to chew on your spouse in a non-sexual way, in a nutritive manner, pass, right?
Nutritive.
Right?
Yeah.
If the whole idea is I want to survive by going through this literal mental and physical torture only to be faced with remaining mental and physical torture forever. We get to rebuild society with like a cockroach and 14 arm limbs.
No,
why?
oh no. And Twinkies. No, thank you.
Yicko.
No, thank you.
Do we really want to?
No.
Do we really
No, I'm
want
telling
to?
you.
Okay.
I'm telling you, you're coming up with zombie apocalypse. I could name 100 things that are less world ending than that I don't need to survive either. Like my hands are halfway up in the morning when I wake up in the morning. When I just get out of bed, I half give up.
Okay.
So it's not that long of a trek for me to do the full surrender. I might hold out till after the summer because at least I will get to spend a couple of months in warmth and in the sun. But once that new winter comes, take me quickly because no, I'm not fighting for this place in the world that hard. I do feel like I want to see my kids fall in love and be loved in return. And there are definite things I want to see. What if it's a zombie apocalypse and you're taking everybody? Bye.
That's not happening
Right.
in the zombie apocalypse. You're surviving for some shit that's already gone. So I agree. I feel it.
Oh, I had a weird feeling that the age that I was going to die came to me. And I thought, oh, your choice is to accept it and know that 83 is the number for you, or you can fight it by getting on that bike and working harder or walking more or eating better. And I rolled over and I took a bite of a Twinkie and I called it a night and said, look, I'm going to enjoy the time I have here. I hope all of these things come into fruition when I can see them and be a part of it. But if take me, I volunteer as tribute. No, she's right. I don't want to survive that. And if I'm not seeing the 3 things I want to see with my children, I am not eating my husband to make it through. I am not doing any of those things. I can't make it from gate C3 to gate C11 without
but you shouldn't
blowing
have to. Yeah, but you shouldn't have
water
to. That's the gate's fault.
all over the jetway. So I am not really great under duress, physically, whatever. No, I will not eat my spouse.
How did this number come to you? Was it in a dream? Was it
I don't
in a
know.
daydream? Was it in
was
the
in
form
a
of a
wake.
cake slice that had been decorated thusly? How did it arrive in your doorstep?
It just came to me not while I was awake, but not while totally alert. But 80, I don't know. The number 83 was like, well, this is it for you. And I was like, 50, 33. All right. I accept that as long as there's no zombie apocalypse. I accept that because I don't really think I have a choice. And here we go. Let's make these 33 years banging. Let's do a really
I'm
good.
down for that for sure. But I question the source. It's you. You're not really trustworthy. You know,
I'm not. So why do you want me to MC your gala? I am not trustworthy. Know that now.
Shifty MCs are the best. All you're doing is just heightening your qualifications when I know that you're going to lie.
Shifty MC.
Especially when you're trying to convince people to spend money.
I'm going to go out with my
Dubious
James.
Goods. Yes.
I'm going to go out with my James Taylor guitar and I'm going to strum that shit for him.
I don't know why I keep clearing my throat.
No.
No, I mean, just dreams are wild things. I had a dream last night that I was super into grave robbing, and I mentioned something to my husband, and he was really into it, and he wanted
What'd
to do
you find?
it. No, I
wait.
just said, you things you don't know about me, and we're all together. And I was like, well, I mean, I've gotten really good at grave robbing, and I think it's really fascinating, and it's kind of fun, and it's nice, peaceful. It's just a great activity. And he's like, yeah, I love it. And I was like, really? And it was
I don't
so
expect that from him.
No, I don't expect it from him ever at all. But I was just so charmed to think that we could go knock over these these tombstones and pull out shit out of the earth and keep it. It felt like really good. And maybe it's because my client's husband's an anthropologist and I had spent a good portion of the time talking about Brian, but still, I feel like that's, I don't want to rob graves. I'm not a thief.
Do you think people are burying themselves with very valuable things?
When they're smart.
Or are you going for like gold teeth? Like, what are we talking about? Are you a beggar at the feast, or are you?
No, it wasn't about. It was honestly in the dream. It was like the edge of the container. And it sounds so morbid now that it's actually not just the pictures that I saw in my head. I would like break off the edge of the casket, and then you could like pull out a skull, and it was like, look, I found a skull. Like, that's not, I don't want any of it. It's creeping me out to say it. And at the time it was like breaking off the edge of a chocolate bar and finding a nut. Like, that's how it was. I was like, ooh. And instead I'm like knee deep in corpse feces. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. And the fact that I thought my husband would be like down there with a shovel with me, getting it on. Like, let's do it. Let's dig out whatever the fuck's in here. Wow. None of this is accurate.
There's so much right there.
I also had a dream that our friend Crit had a massive zit on her back and she needed me to pick it for her. So a lot of things are going on in my dreams that are not.
I'm not touching that one.
It was
the
like
zit
it was
or
like,
the story.
It was like the circle of the zit was the entire back was this big round inflamed red area, and then right in the middle.
You had to I&D it.
There was something, I don't know about all that, but I was like, yeah, you've got something back here. Did you want me to get it?
Grave robbing is a very difficult career to sustain.
Maybe.
It's a lot of hard work getting to that. 6 feet under is not just a phrase. They bury that shit pretty low.
Like everything else, you just have to delegate. You've got to get people to do the dig. I'm not fucking digging. I'm an executive grave robber. I'm not going to fucking dig. They'll build a ladder for me. I will, with my white gloves.
That's how we found the title of this show.
I will step down.
I don't think you can do that. First of all, FYI, this is not legal.
You can do
this
anything
is not legal.
in life.
It's your ambitions to steal. Like, initially it started with stealing from the easy, and now you're digging 6 feet.
They twist the media. They twist your words. You're not twisted. This is not what happened. I do not steal because I am not a thief. The term robbing is a misnomer here. I'm just exploring your remains and self-selecting a few to take with me. That's not robbing. Who wants your skull? You put it in the earth. That's where we put our trash.
Right. You didn't want it, so you can't tell me that I can't have it. I came upon it.
Fucking bingo.
I don't think that's going to work because you absolutely pay for that land and you're trespassing. So immediately.
I mean, hey, ho, ho, hee hee, ha ha.
Dear listener, what did you not steal this week? For what do you need praise that you have not received it? Because I think that's our new mission, to praise you for the small victories, making it to your hotel and not stealing the actual hairdryer, but taking its case, like not taking the pillow. You need praise too. We shouldn't just pour praise on Amy, who does deserve it. Write us, brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Go see us on any of the socials at Listen Brilliant or Facebook at Brilliant Observations, Brill Ob Squad. Send us a picture of something you didn't steal. You should be proud of yourself. Just give us it's probably going to be outside a supermarket because they're dumb. Ice is a big one. Oh, it's open and I said I was going to buy 1 bag. Let us know. We would love to hear it because, like, what the fuck else are you doing? I know. Come see us. Come see us. We love you. Bye.
When I show you that bag, you're going to fucking want it.